Hello and good afternoon. My name is Ryan Gately, and today I'm going to be talking about the automotive industry, and the future of it will be, and you might be guessing flying cars, but you'd be sadly mistaken as that's quite a ways away. And if you're thinking electric cars, you'd be wrong again, as the winner is going to be internal combustion engines. Now, I'm guessing you all either drove or were driven here today, and the U.S. Department of Energy stated that we have roughly 250 million internal combustion engines in the United States alone. And I'm sure you guys have heard as Californians about the wanting to ban of the sale, manufacturing, and usage of gasoline-powered cars or internal combustion engines by the year 2035. So I'm going to be talking about that first today as that's relevant to our lives, and then I'll move on to the malpractice in harvesting parts for these batteries for these electric vehicles. Then I'll move on to see what global leaders are doing around the world. And lastly, I'll talk about where the health of the world is going. So let's get started with California's ban on ICE vehicles. So California makes roughly $14 to $15.5 billion annually on these gas taxes alone, which are very high already. Now, California uses this money for the manufacturing and maintenance of our roads. But most likely, without these taxes, they would immediately start going towards our electricity bills, as we can already see. 5 days after making the announcement on the ban of electric or gas-powered cars by 2035, the Public Power Association stated that Californians are using too much electricity, thus creating something called a flex alert. And now that means during the hours of 4 through 9 p.m. that electricity prices cost 71 cents, which is double the average per kilowatt. And the average citizen uses roughly 693 kilowatts daily. So this adds up, and that's before adding your electric car charging to it. Now, if you hop over the water to the UK, electricity prices for their charging stations have raised roughly 42% since May of 2022, which means that per electric mile for an electric vehicle is roughly 19 cents, and for a petrol car or a gasoline-powered car, it's around 20 cents. Per mile, which doesn't really make too much sense. Now, at-home charging is roughly 16 cents per mile, which is, 4 cents cheaper per mile. But yeah, so California wanted to have 250,000 charging stations by the year 2025, and this is a project they started back in 2019, but as of 2023, we have roughly 80,000. The California already has a very weak and is very populated, but has a very, very, very weak electrical grid, which means that right now we have roughly 270 blackouts. Right here I have a photo of some potholes, some crazy gas prices, which you would only see here, and the like a blackout. It was brought to you by Energy.gov on November 22nd, 2013 by the U.S. Department of Energy, cdtfa.ca.gov, last access May 23rd, 2023, California Department of Tax and Fee Administration, se.com, last accessed May 23rd, 2023, Southern California Edison, and gis.data.ca.gov, updated every 15 minutes, California Department of Technology. Now I'm going to be talking about the malpractice in creating our eco-friendly vehicles. So 60% of the world's cobalt comes from the Democratic Republic of the Congo. Children as young as the age of 7 work in these mines. They are also being sent in these mines lacking proper or poor equipment, meaning that they dig with their hands, they wear the same clothes they woke up and go to sleep in, they don't have masks or hard helmets, and these miners breathe in cobalt-laden dust, causing irreversible lung damage. These mines also are liable to collapse at any time, and these children have to go in, not knowing if they'll make it out. And in 2016, the Tibetan River Lichu had been toxified by the Gazuzao Ronda lithium mine, which caused nationwide protests. This is brought to you by theguardian.com, January 3rd, 2021, by Robert McKee, environmental science writer and editor. Here's a photo of lung disease and just the pricey, things they have to do to fix that. And here are the kids working in the mines right there. So let's move on. So Germany takes the red pill or wakes up to reality. So Germany has the most wind turbines in Europe at roughly 29,000, and with the average wind turbine costing roughly $50 to $400 million each with installation, they aren't cheap. During this Russian-Ukrainian war, Russia withheld up to 80% of Europe's natural gas, and this happened right before the winter of 2022. So And these windmills only created enough energy for around 3 months of electricity. So this means that the German government, right before winter, had to raise electricity prices, shut down lights in public areas and buildings, along with hot water and heating. Germany was a leader in the clean energy future. It was forced to rethink and drop out of the only electric car build by the year 2030. So we have some some windmills right here, and then some blackout thing right here. And then Porsche picks up the slack. So Porsche gets involved and invested $100 million in synthetic fuels. Porsche also invested $75 million in biofuels made from algae. Creating plants where these fuels can be manufactured would create hundreds of thousands of new jobs. The synthetic fuel would also give petrol heads the best of both worlds by giving you performance of running on E85 while also giving you prolonged engine life and increased miles per gallon. These to create synthetic fuels are pricey right now, but just like electric cars were, with time they'll become more affordable. Here's a photo of electrolysis, so that way you can guys just see how it works. And right here is some algae. This is brought to you by TopSpeed.com on May 21st, 2023 by Dimitar Angelov, an automotive journalist. And where's the world headed? So the 2021 U.S. emissions, 28% of the all were from transportation, which includes cars, gas and electric, boats, trains, and planes. 25% is from powering our electric grid, which 60% of that comes from burning coal and natural gas. The other 46% is broken down from 23% industrial, 13% housing, and 10% agricultural. With these vehicles being created every year to run cleaner, banning them outright wouldn't make too much sense in the first place. Powering the grid is 25%, which makes up our greenhouse gases. By straining it with all these electric vehicles, and could potentially end up equating the amount of greenhouse gases they try to blame on transportation in the first place. The ozone layer is expected to heal between the years 2040 and the year 2045, and fully over the Antarctic, and it has been improving since the year 2000, and all this healing will stop the global warming by 0.5 degrees Celsius or 32.9 degrees Fahrenheit. This is brought to you by EPA.gov, last updated on April 28, 2023 by the U.S. Environmental Protection Agency, news.un.org, January 9th, 2023 by the UN Global Protective Board. Here's a photo of the ozone layer and some clean air access vehicles. So here are my citations. So I hope you guys learned a whole lot about electric cars and how they're not as good as you might think, and how there's going to be tons of options coming soon for gas-powered cars. So I hope you guys enjoyed. I hope this informed you a little bit, and hope you guys have a wonderful rest of your day. Thank you so much. All right, thank you.